Pep Guardiola, a name that represents the zenith of football management. Guardiola has reinvented the role of a coach, from his groundbreaking tactics at Barcelona to his relentless supremacy at Man City. But how did he become the mastermind that we know today? What are the secrets of his success? And why do players and fans alike regard him as one of the greatest of all time? Stay tuned as we take a closer look at the man, the manager, and the legacy of Pep Guardiola.
Swinger and shot of the goal!
Still Lionel Messi! Pep Guardiola beats Sir Alex Ferguson for the second time in 2 years in the final.
Before we begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth football analysis like this. Josep Pep Guardiola Sala was born on January 18, 1971 in Santpedor, a small village in Catalonia, Spain. Guardiola has a strong interest in football since he was a child, and he was frequently observed playing in the streets near his home. His talent was recognized, and at the age of 13, he was accepted into Barcelona's famed La Masia Academy, which is known for developing extraordinary football talent. Guardiola improved his defensive midfield talent at La Masia, where he gained a thorough understanding of the game. His vision, tactical knowledge, and precise passing rapidly distinguished him. Guardiola made his first team debut for FC Barcelona in 1990, joining Johan Cruyff's legendary Dream Team. During his playing career at Barcelona, he won 6 La Liga titles and the European Cup in 1992, contributing significantly to the club's domestic and European success. Guardiola's playing career after leaving Barcelona in 2001 includes stops in Italy with Brescia and AS Roma, as well as periods in Qatar with Al Ahly SC and Mexico with Dorados de Sinaloa. These numerous encounters broadened his understanding of many football cultures and ideas. Guardiola returned to FC Barcelona in 2007 to lead the club's reserve squad, Barcelona B. His time was highlighted by quick success, as he led the team to the Tercera Division title, demonstrating his management skills and tactical influence. This success led to his promotion as first-team manager in 2008, succeeding Frank Rijkaard. Guardiola's appointment signaled the start of a transformational era for FC Barcelona. He revitalized the squad by implementing a philosophy centered on possession-based football, strong pressing, and positional play, developing youth standouts such as Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Gerard Piqué. His emphasis on tactical discipline and squad togetherness resulted in extraordinary success, including a record treble in his inaugural season by winning La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League. Barcelona became identified with tiki-taka, a style characterized by short passing and movement, possession retention, and ball movement via numerous channels. Under Guardiola's leadership, this method not only won championships but also impacted football ideologies around the world, solidifying Guardiola's position as a sporting visionary. Guardiola's early life and career were distinguished by a smooth transition from a passionate young footballer in Santpedor to a vital position in one of football's most recognized clubs. His switch to management was as significant, especially the groundwork for a history marked by creativity, success, and a never-ending quest for football excellence. Pep Guardiola's tactical style exemplifies adaptation and invention, constantly developing to meet the demands of the modern game. At Man City, his approach has changed established roles and introduced new formations, redefining the team's playing style. One of Guardiola's most major tactical innovations has been the use of the 3-2-2-3 system, which is similar to the old WM arrangement. This framework offers defensive strength while allowing for seamless transitions between defense and attack. City may maintain width and depth by fielding 3 central defenders, 2 holding midfielders, 2 advanced midfielders, and 3 attackers, allowing for multiple passing routes and overwhelming opponents in various areas of the game. Inverted fullbacks play an essential part in this system. Fullbacks typically play on the flanks, although under Guardiola they frequently move into central midfield positions during build-up play. This approach establishes numerical superiority in midfield, allowing for improved ball retention and undermining the opposition's defensive structure. Players such as Rico Lewis have thrived in this position, demonstrating versatility and tactical knowledge. Guardiola's emphasis on positional play, termed juego de posición, guarantees that players occupy certain areas of the field, maintaining optimal spacing to control possession and determine the game's tempo. This method necessitates strong football intelligence and discipline, as players must understand when to keep their positions and when to make dynamic movements to exploit gaps. Guardiola's tactics have continued to evolve in reaction to opponents' strategies throughout the 2024-25 season. Guardiola has honed his strategy to preserve Manchester City's attacking prowess against clubs that use defensive formations such as the 4-2-4 to impede midfield penetration. This includes making effective adjustments to player positions and formations in response to defensive setups. Guardiola's commitment to innovation goes beyond formations. His utilization of data analytics and technical innovations has improved his decision-making processes, resulting in more precise tactical adjustments and player development plans. Guardiola keeps his club ahead of the tactical evolution of football by using data-driven ideas. Pep Guardiola's tactical style at Manchester City is defined by a never-ending search for perfection, adaptation to the changing football landscape, and a thorough understanding of the game's nuances. His inventions not only helped the team succeed, but they also had a global impact on football strategies. Pep Guardiola's tactical creativity has long been distinguished by his ability to go beyond traditional football roles. And nowhere is this more clear than in his groundbreaking use of the false nine. Traditionally, the number 9 role in football has been reserved for a central striker, whose primary purpose is to score goals. Guardiola, however, reimagined the position, making it into a weapon of unpredictability and control. The false 9 was first used to significant effect during Guardiola's stint at Barcelona, with Lionel Messi as the focal point. Instead of sticking high up the pitch, Messi would drop lower into midfield, leaving defenders in two minds. Should they follow him and leave space behind, or retain their position and allow him freedom? This caused havoc in opposing defensive lines, leaving gaps for players like Pedro and David Villa to exploit. It was a tactical masterstroke that propelled Barcelona to unprecedented success, including many Champions League and La Liga trophies. Fast forward to Guardiola's time at Man City, and the false 9 has changed yet again. While the addition of a typical striker like Erling Haaland has changed City's primary offensive formation, Guardiola has not yet abandoned the false 9 concept. Instead, he's altered it, utilizing players like Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, and even Kevin De Bruyne in this role when the situation calls for it. This allows City to keep their fluid and unpredictable style of play, particularly against clubs that rely on blocking central areas. Guardiola has utilized the false 9 deliberately, often in high-stakes games where dominating possession and setting the tempo are key. Against compact defenses, the false 9's ability to drop into midfield reduces an overload, allowing City to control the center of the pitch. This tactical adaptability has been critical to their success across numerous competitions, keeping opponents guessing and preventing them from thoroughly preparing for their dynamic attacking strategies. Guardiola's usage of the false 9 stands out not only for its technical creativity, but also for the painstaking planning that goes into its implementation. Guardiola's training sessions are intensive, with players being taught when to move, how to position themselves, and how to take advantage of the opportunities that arise. This amount of detail means that even if City switches to a false 9 midway through the game, each player understands their role and the system runs well. Beyond tactical genius, Guardiola has used the false 9 as a method for player development. Players like Bernardo Silva have expressed how the role has improved their knowledge of space, movement, and timing. It's more than just a position, it's a learning opportunity that helps players develop into more complete footballers. However, the false 9 has its own set of complications. Critics believe that it can make City's offense overly reliant on midfielders for goals, which could be a problem in games where the midfield is heavily contested. Guardiola addresses this by keeping his system adaptable, with wingers and attacking midfielders taking on more goal-scoring responsibilities. Guardiola's deployment of the false 9 is still one of the most notable tactical legacies. From its inception in Barcelona to its ongoing growth in Man City, it is a method that embodies Guardiola's philosophy: intelligent, adaptive, and always one step ahead. It's more than simply a technical innovation. It reflects Guardiola's philosophy on football, which is one of space, movement, and limitless potential. Pep Guardiola's tactical prowess has revolutionized football in numerous ways, but one of his most significant achievements has been the revamping of the fullback position. Fullbacks were traditionally viewed as defensive specialists, entrusted with providing width, but Guardiola has converted them into dynamic, multi-purpose players who are critical to Man City's success. Guardiola's vision has been carried out by players such as Kyle Walker, Josko Vardiol, and Rico Lewis. While Walker continues to provide pace and defensive solidity, Gvardiola's mobility as a left-footed defender allows him to move fluidly into midfield as an inverted fullback when City switches to a possession system. Meanwhile, Rico Lewis, a Manchester City Academy graduate, has emerged as one of Guardiola's finest prospects. Lewis's technical ability and football acumen have made him an essential component in Guardiola's changing strategies. Guardiola introduced the inverted fullback concept at Bayern Munich with Philipp Lahm, and it remains crucial to City's approach. Instead of overlapping on the sides, inverted fullbacks drift toward midfield, giving them a numerical advantage in the center of play. This technique not only allows City to control possession, but it also provides additional defense against counterattacks. In games where the opposition tries to press City high, this method has been critical in keeping control and managing the game's pace. Guardiola has honed this method to complement the characteristics of his current team. For example, Gvardiola's ability to carry the ball forward from defense gives City a distinct advantage, whilst Lewis's coolness under pressure has enabled him to play as a pivot in certain situations. This flexibility has been incredibly effective in vital games, where City's fullbacks were critical in countering the opposition's pressing and attacking. Beyond tactics, Guardiola's fullbacks demonstrate his ability to find and develop flexible players. Rico Lewis, for example, has developed into a complete footballer under Guardiola's guidance. At the age of 20, he already demonstrates the positional awareness and technical ability necessary to survive in one of football's most demanding systems. Similarly, Walker, at 34, has adjusted to Guardiola's tactical demands, balancing defensive duties with occasional forays into midfield. Guardiola's influence goes beyond Man City. Several elite managers have adopted the inverted fullback role, including Arsenal's Mikel Arteta and Chelsea's Enzo Maresca. This widespread acceptance demonstrates Guardiola's influence on football's tactical evolution, reinforcing his reputation as one of the game's greatest innovators. Guardiola's reinvention of the fullback position exemplifies his talent for rethinking the game. By reinventing what it means to play as a fullback, he has not only increased Man City's tactical adaptability, but also inspired a new generation of managers and players to think differently about the game. This progression is a cornerstone of Guardiola's legacy, representing the ideal combination of creativity, intellect, and adaptability. Man City is well known for its clever pressing techniques, which have been instrumental in the club's domestic and European success. High pressing and counter-pressing are key components of Guardiola's tactical system, which is intended to dominate possession, disrupt opponents' build-up play, and quickly transition from defense to attack. High pressing entails placing immediate pressure on the opponents high up the pitch in order to reclaim possession near the opponent's goal. Guardiola's sides do this with excellent synchronization, frequently forming a 4-1-3-2 configuration during pressing stages. This structure provides for good passing lane coverage while forcing opponents to make errors or play long balls that can be recovered by City's defenders. Counter-pressing, also known as Gegenpressing pressing, is a tactic of pressing the opponent immediately after losing possession in order to retake control of the ball before the opposition can organize an attack. Guardiola has expertly integrated this technique into his team's play, emphasizing the need for rapid transitions and applying pressure to prevent opponents from exploiting defensive flaws. Implementing these pressing systems requires excellent fitness, mental acuity, and a thorough comprehension of spatial dynamics. Players must be able to read the game, make split-second judgments, and work together to close passing lanes and isolate opponents. Guardiola's strict training regimes are centered on honing these characteristics, ensuring that his teams can maintain high-intensity pressing throughout matches. Guardiola's pressing tactics have proven beneficial, as evidenced by his club's success in numerous leagues. By limiting opponents' time on the ball and forcing turnovers in crucial situations, his teams generate multiple goal-scoring opportunities while minimizing defensive dangers. This style has contributed to Man City's domestic supremacy and prompted a broader tactical change towards intense pressing in modern football. Guardiola's emphasis on heavy pressing and counter-pressing is consistent with his overall football philosophy, which is a proactive, aggressive pursuit of game control. By perfecting these techniques, he has not only achieved great success, but also established new benchmarks for tactical excellence in the sport. Pep Guardiola's stint at Man City has been distinguished by his outstanding ability to develop and improve player performance, transforming potential young players into world-class athletes. His comprehensive approach to player development includes tactical education, psychological motivation, and personalized coaching, creating an environment in which players can thrive. Phil Foden is a perfect example of Guardiola's ability to develop players. Under Guardiola's tutelage, Foden has developed into a versatile midfielder, capable of playing several roles and becoming a vital part of City's tactical schemes. Foden acknowledged Guardiola's influence, saying, "I've learned 6 different positions under him. It's a pleasure to play under him." Savinho's emergence is another example of Guardiola's effect. Since joining Man City, the Brazilian winger has emerged as the team's creative power, leading in assists and routinely creating goal-scoring opportunities. His seamless absorption into the squad demonstrates Guardiola's ability to develop young players and adapt their skills to the Premier League's demands. Guardiola's dedication to player development goes beyond technical skills. He values mental fortitude and resilience. His honest and often angry demeanor inspires players to realize their greatest potential. Foden comments on this saying, "I like the honesty. He's very passionate, especially when he's disappointed." However, Guardiola's method is not without flaws. Cole Palmer's recent transfer to Chelsea and subsequent success have caused some sorrow within Man City. This situation highlights the intricacies of player development, as well as considerations about whether or not to retain or sell rising talent. Despite these limitations, Guardiola's overall influence on player development remains significant. His concept promotes continual learning and adaptability, ensuring that players not only contribute to the team's immediate success, but also develop into well-rounded professionals capable of maintaining high levels of performance throughout their careers. Pep Guardiola's impact on Man City player development is distinguished by a complete strategy that combines tactical coaching, psychological assistance, and personalized mentorship. His ability to develop talent and tailor methods to individual players' abilities has been critical to Man City's success and continues to set a standard in modern football management. Pep Guardiola is more than just a football manager. He is a revolutionary force who has altered the way the game is played. From tactical ideas to developing world-class players, his influence on modern football is unsurpassed. However, as the game advances and problems grow, one question remains. What comes next for Guardiola and his legacy? What do you think? Is Pep Guardiola the greatest manager of all time, or does he still have much to prove? Please share your ideas in the comments below. And if you like this in-depth analysis, please give us a like, subscribe to MDM, and click the notification bell to never miss an update on football's biggest stories.